Hello vintage outboard motor fans, this is T-Mike here on Toledo Bend Lake making another video today. Today's video is going to be on the tilt lever assembly on your Johnson Evinrudes outboard motors. Here's the assembly right here. It controls the locking and tilting of your outboard motor on the stern bracket. Had a subscriber that requested I make a video, said he bought one of these from me and wants to know how to put it on. So I'm going to show you, first of all, I'm going to show you, it's going to be a three-part video. First part is going to be how the tilt lever actually works, how you can lock the motor and how you can change the tilt angle of the motor. Second part is going to be how to remove the tilt lever if you have a broken one. And then the third part is going to be how to reinstall it and put it back together. So hope you enjoyed the video. If everybody's ready, here we go. So here's my latest restore. It's a 1957 18 horsepower Evinrudes fast twin. Still got the gear case I'm working on there, but I'm going to show you how the tilt lever actually operates. So here's the lever on the front. It has a setting for release and lock. So in the release position, you can pick the outboard motor up, okay? And if you have the friction setting set right, it'll stay up. Friction setting is underneath here on a screw right there. Tighten and loosen that screw for the friction setting left and right. Tighten this bolt right here for the friction setting up and down. That's your two friction settings. All right, so in the lock position, okay, you can't pick the motor up. It stays locked. All right, so that's the function there, lock and release. The other function is the tilt angle of the motor. So with it in release, if I pick up the motor, all right, then this tilt lever that's installed between the two stern brackets has springs on it. There's a spring holding it here, and there's a spring up in here holding it in place. All right, so to change the angle, you just reach down, push up on this, and change the angle of the tilt, either all the way up or all the way down. All right, and there's an arm right here on a spring, all right, that locks on that bar, which is what keeps you from going up and down when it's in the lock position. So that's how the tilt lever works. So as I said, my customer bought a tilt lever from me, and I guess his lever is broken. He wants to know how to replace it. So now the next part of the video, the second part, is I'm going to show you how to take the tilt lever off of a vintage motor. Here we go with that. Okay, so to remove the tilt lever that's in between these two brackets here, this lever, you're actually going to have to take and loosen these bolts and pull out the two brackets so that you can reach in here and get it out and replace it. So I'm going to take my motor and set it up on my bench and show you how to do that now. All right, so I got my motor up here on my bench, and I got the tilt lever exposed so we can work on it. So the first thing we got to do is remove these two screws that hold the two port and starboard stern brackets together. So a nice strong screwdriver. All right, so now it wants to separate, but this tilt bolt that goes through the whole bracket needs to be either removed or loosened. We're going to try to loosen it first. It takes a 9/16 socket, and I got it loose. Well, let's see if we can open it up enough to get the bracket off. Yeah, we can. So you don't have to take it all the way off. You loosen it, move this bracket up. It exposes the tilt bracket right here. It's got 2 springs on it. It's got one right here that's got to come off. And that spring is attached to the outside of this bracket. And there's another spring that holds it from here to the top. So the 2 springs do 2 things. This one holds the tension here, and this one holds the tensions here, horizontal and vertical. And there is how to remove the bracket. So we'll show you how to put it back on in the next section. Okay, so to put it back on, the easiest way, once you have these 2 screws removed and the bolt loosened, is to pick the stern bracket up, and this spring goes on this side, and there's a slot to put this arm through, and then you place the upper bar in its slot. There's slots on the other side for the 2 bars, and once you get that together, hold the bracket together with your hand, and you got to attach the springs now. So this spring attaches to this post. Like that. That's the spring that holds it vertical. The horizontal spring now goes into the hole I showed you earlier. Wraps back into its holding position, and then wraps on that far bar. Wraps on that far bar to hold it this way. Now you got it all together. Take your 2 screws. Screw the 2 brackets together. Drop the screw. There it is. Put it back in. Got your 2 screws together. Take your 9/16. Tighten up your tilt bolt. And that's how you replace a tilt bracket on a 5.5, 7.5, 10 horsepower, and 18 horsepower Johnson. Let's make a summary now. All right, so let's summarize. So in part 1, we talked about how the tilt lock lever works. There's a release and lock lever on the front here that locks and releases the tilting function. And there's also 2 springs in there that help you to do the different levels of tilt that you want to try to get to. All right, and the second part of the video, we talked about how to remove the tilt lever, the 2 screws that hold the 2 brackets together, and the tilt bolt to separate the 2 port and stern brackets to be able to get the lever out. And in the third part, we talked about how to put the lever back in. It's a little difficult, a little tricky, but if you get it set up right, it can be done. So hope y'all enjoyed the video. See y'all next time. Thanks for watching the video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you did, please click on subscribe and tell all your friends about T Mike's Vintage Outboards YouTube channel. Also, I have dozens of links below in the description You can find my eBay store, all the parts I have in there. You can find my trusted T-Mic parts, where I make kits for fuel pump conversions, for your carburetors, for your magnetos and your gear cases. You also have a link for my mail-in repair service, how to send me your parts to repair and send them back to you. Also a link in there for technical consulting if you need some help with your vintage motors. So I love what I do. I love all the videos that you guys have requested for me to make. Keep the requests coming in, and I'll keep making the videos. And remember, always remember, and never forget, here at T-Mic Vintage Outboards, we're doing it one motor at a time.